Hello everyone and welcome to my review for Kengan chapter 94. Before I get into today's video, I of course have to plug in the start of my new podcast, Miscast, that I just started last night. We had a nice, long, 2.5 hour long discussion with Griever and Koji talking about Attack on Titan. So if you're interested in that, you should definitely check it out. And if you end up enjoying the format, I do plan on eventually doing at least one of those podcasts about Kengan Omega. I'll see who I can get on. We're going to probably talk about what we think of the tournament so far, what we think is going to happen, what future matchups we think they're going to be, things like that. So if you're interested in that, you should definitely go check out my new podcast. Now, this chapter, we get some very interesting developments. Well, other than the reveal for the next fighters, we have some interesting developments going on with the Worm plot. Not because any Worm members were revealed, but we are getting the ramifications of two Worm members showing up in a row and then acting completely different from the way they always have when they've been fighting in Purgatory. They've noticed that Nidon basically went crazy and tried to murder someone and killed himself, basically. And Lu Tien acted like a completely different person and also used removal, which is something that Tarashi had never seen before. So now they're all suspecting who among their remaining ranks is a Worm member. We've got Tarashi suspecting Nicholas. We've got Fei, Wang Feng, accusing Lo Long of being a co-conspirator with Lu Tien and Nidon, because whenever they started acting all weird, he didn't have any reaction to it, which is interesting. I am really wondering why we didn't really get to see any reaction from the Purgatory team for the last round. I thought that was kind of weird, but that is interesting. Also, I don't think Lo Long is a Worm member. I just find it unlikely. I think it would not be very interesting if Lo Long was a Worm member. I'd prefer he just be a super strong guy who does his own thing. So here's to hoping he doesn't actually turn out to be part of the Worm. But yeah, they're all very suspicious of each other now. So they go and have an impromptu meeting with the Kengan team in the middle of the arena to talk about what's going on. We get a pretty cool double-page spread, which we seem to be getting more of now for some reason. Like, we just kind of got one last chapter with the Dragon Shot. Now we've got one with the team matchup, them facing each other down, which we haven't gotten yet. And of course, already a lot of people are assuming that these are going to be future matchups. I think some of them are fairly realistic, some not so much. I feel like the reason a lot of people are buying into it is just because one of the face-offs is our next matchup. But yeah, I don't know how much merit I would give to that. I don't know if they'd just reveal their hand like that. Yeah, I think they want to keep it more of a surprise. So I'm not super buying into that theory. But yeah, they sort of talk about the Worm and how they really have no idea what's going on. Yamashita suggests ending the tournament so that nothing bad can happen, even though Nidon's already died. And Lo Long says no, which is interesting. Lo Long really seems to want to get this tournament over with. So I am interested in seeing more about him, what exactly he wants. I am very curious about that. We have a pretty funny moment where Agito kneels over because he's very exhausted from the Lu Tien fight, which is kind of weird because that's probably the easiest fight he's had since fighting Hatsumi. But whatever, I guess. It allows for an opportunity for Jirota to once again be like, holy shit, Yamashita Kazuo is such a badass. He got Kano Agito to kneel for him, which is pretty funny, I guess. So this new matchup we have coming, I feel like we all kind of expected it. I mentioned in the last video that since the reveal that the Wu and Kure clans don't actually have bad blood between them, that, oh, well, I guess that doesn't mean they have to fight each other, right? Wrong. Of course, if you have a Kure member on each team, you're going to have to fucking fight each other. I mean, because even if the clans themselves have relatively good relations, Ryan and Alan seem to be fucking assholes. They're such douches. So naturally, they are going to fight each other. I think the head of the Wu clan says that Alan has a higher kill count than Edward, which is That could be a little nuts, actually. I don't know. I haven't given Alan enough cred. I didn't think he'd be all that. But I think what it seems like with this tournament so far is that Purgatory actually has a lot of S-tier fighters. They just keep fighting people who are higher on S-tier than them. Which is kind of hilarious, actually. I mean, like, let's see. We've got Toa. Toa's really fucking good, but Julius just became even better. Then we had Nidon, who killed himself, but was totally stomping Ryuki. If he wanted to kill Ryuki, he could have fucking done it. If he just wanted to beat Ryuki, he could have done it very easily, as we've seen. He could have just thrown him out of the ring or something. And now we just got Lu Tian, who I would say is definitely the strongest member of Purgatory so far, and could probably beat almost everyone in the Annihilation tournament, short of Kuroki and Oma. And there's even a possibility that he could beat Annihilation tournament Agito, just because of the whole deal with, in this fight, Agito removing the time lag between Formless and Martial Arts. So he could even, it's possible that Lu Tian could beat Annihilation tournament Agito. Lu Tian is really fucking strong, but, you know, he had the job because we had to see how powerful Agito was gotten. Now, with this fight, I mentioned in the last video, I don't want any more Purgatory fighters to just be jobbers. I want to see Purgatory fighters win, and win in satisfying ways, not getting people through ring out, not poisoning, not killing themselves. I want to see a Purgatory fighter just beat the shit out of someone on the Kengan team and win. So I'm hoping that we're going to get that with Ryan and Alan. That's right, I'm rooting for Purgatory this time around. I'm going all in with WooCoin. All my investments are into Alan Coin. I'm betting it all on him. He's going to pull through on this one. I think this guy needs to show off what a huge fucking badass he is, so that the Wu clan can get some serious cred. We've already seen how strong Ryan with techniques is, okay? I know there's the meme, healthy Oma and techniques Ryan. I know. We've seen him using them. Tiger Bite seems really fucking fatal, I guess. I think Tiger Bite kills people. I would imagine dislocating someone's neck in real life would fucking kill them. We already know Ryan is really strong. We don't need anyone to show that off for us. So we need to see how strong Alan is. And we get that by having them beat the shit out of each other. I'll be honest, I didn't actually think this fight would happen right now, because we just got removal like a chapter ago. So I was like, no, there's no way they'll have removal versus removal right after someone already used removal, or Guihan, or Demon Soul. I think Demon Soul sounds cooler. But whatever, I guess. My expectations have been subverted because I didn't think they would do it right after the other. I guess this is also like, we technically had like 3 worms in a row now, 2.5 worms, because I know the Wu clan aren't actually part of the worm, but Alan was sent there by Eddie, and Eddie's working with the worm, so he's like an honorary worm member in my mind. It seems like we're just kind of going through them all in one go, which is weird to me. I would have thought they'd be more spread out. Of course, we're still going to have the Tiger's Vessel to deal with, but Lo Long did bring up the possibility of there being a worm member on the Kengan team. And, I mean, there are really only 2 possible people I can think of, unless we're going to go for some fucking insane plot twist like Oma not really being Oma, or Oma being brainwashed when he came back into becoming a worm member. Not something stupid like that. But the only 2 guys that I can think of being worm members are probably Nitoku and Hayami, because Hayami's just a bizarre wild card. Like, we have no fucking idea what's going on with Hayami. So I feel like those 2 are probably the most likely candidates to be worm members on the Kengan team, and I think Hayami is the most likely out of those 2. Now, in terms of my prediction for how this fight is going to go, we already know that Ryan, from Ashura, assuming he hasn't had some kind of massive change in his character, is the type of guy who likes to feel out his opponent, likes to kind of take a little bit of a beating to gauge their strength, and then he kind of goes all out and just fucking murders them. So I don't think we're going to have Ryan going into removal immediately. If we're really going to rush it like we did with the Lutien Formless, he's probably going to activate removal like at the end of next chapter. And then we'll see where it goes from there. I don't know if Ryan will use techniques. It'll have to depend probably mostly on Alan's fighting style. Like if Alan is also just a brute strength fighter and is stronger than Ryan is, Ryan may, like in his fight with Oma, he may not use any Kure techniques, or he won't until he absolutely has to. With Alan, if he's primarily a fighter that uses, I guess, Wu techniques in this case, and isn't some kind of brute strength maniac like Ryan is, nowhere near as strong as him in terms of like brute strength, Ryan will probably pull out techniques. We're going to see removal from both of them. I have a feeling that Alan is basically the Wu Clan equivalent of Ryan. He's like the prodigy of their generation who can use 100% Guihan. So, I have a feeling that Alan is going to beat Ryan, probably mid to high difficulty, and it'll go on for like 5 or 6 chapters. So, that is my official prediction. And we'll see where it goes from there. So, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. I do Kengan Omega chapter reviews every week. I haven't heard anything about Omega being on a break next week, so I assume that means we're getting a chapter. If you enjoy other series such as Record of Ragnarok, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Black Clover, I do videos on those series as well, so if you're interested in those, you should definitely check out my channel. If you enjoy discussing Kengan Omega with other people, or you just enjoy the content I produce on this channel, I highly suggest you check out my Discord server. I have a link to it on my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.